So let me get this straight. Democrats. Excuse me. I just hit the pipe. So let me get this straight. There are Democratic members out there on the news, mainstream media, of course. I don't watch it, but I pay attention to it to see what kind of lies and bullshit they're selling to us today. It's the only reason why. You know, keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer. That whole thing. Yeah, well, I keep an eye on my enemies and what they're trying to tell us. And they're saying our enemies are saying that January 6th was worse than Pearl Harbor and 9/11. January 6th, you remember? The Insurrection Day of Insurrection. They're saying that January 6th was worse than 9/11 and Pearl Harbor. Let's think about this for a minute. Let's break it down. January 6th, police officers guided and let these people in. These people, who are these people? The paid protesters, the crisis actors. Yeah. Fake. Not real. Anyway, they were led in. They were guided in. Cops opened the gates, barring them, and then pointed. Come on, waving them in. Come on this way. Go this way. There's video footage of it. There was. So they were guided in. They were paid to be there. Then they were guided in by the police, the Capitol State Police, right? One person was shot by a fucking piece of shit cop. And the person that was shot was a female. She was a female Navy vet. She was in the Navy, or the Air Force. I'm sorry. For 12 years, and she was retired, and she was a vet. Now, was she one of the ones that was paid to be there? I don't know. Maybe. But she was shot in the face and killed. One person was killed. Tragedy. Tragic. Terrible. Either way, a person died. Unnecessarily. One person compared to how many died on 9/11? People just jumping out of the windows so they didn't have to burn to death? Cops, firemen, search and rescue teams, all in there, buried under rubble, died. The situation was completely different. We were being attacked by our own government that day. January 6th, there was no attack. That was a coup. Again, by our own government. But how are you going to compare something like January 6th that only lasted a few hours? One person died. And it was mostly just a bunch of loud noise and people being stupid on TV. January 6th was stupid, unnecessary, and totally planned out. Not to say that September 11th wasn't totally planned out. It was. We all know it. We all know who was responsible for it. But they're comparing January 6th to September 11th and Pearl Harbor. For those of you that were alive on that day, Pearl Harbor, when the Japanese attacked the American military base there and killed hundreds of people, American soldiers, civilians, compared to one person on January 6th. One. But it was so much worse. This is the kind of stupid, dumb shit. Sorry, there's a fly in here. That they're trying to shove down our throats and into our ear holes. This has been War Child Warrior. And that's just one of the thousands of stupid goddamn things that we're having to hear these days, these weeks. All this news. Every day there's something new going on. Every hour. I pay attention to all of it. I haven't made a video in a while. And I'm sorry. I've been relatively busy. And honestly, I've been paying attention to a lot of the news and the videos that have been being put out here by the content creators and stuff. And a lot of it is stuff that if I came on here and it's stuff that's already being reported. I'm not bringing you anything new. I'm not bringing you any breaking news that you haven't already heard about. I'm just mostly giving you my opinion and my thoughts about it. And it seems like that's a lot of what these content creators put out. You know, it's informative, and there are people that, you know, hadn't heard this story or that story, and, you know, they're breaking it to them. But then there's a lot that are just stuff that you already heard or you've already, you know, learned about, but this person might have a different perspective, a different way of looking at it, a different idea of how to deal with it or what to do or stuff to prep or, you know, so there's different. So even though you may have heard of something already, sometimes it's good to just check it out to hear a different opinion about it. Maybe bring an idea to you that you hadn't thought of and, you know, give you sort of a new way to look at something from a different point of view, a different angle, or, you know, whatever. Anyway, so that's my 2 cents on this. My 2 cents on this issue is that, like everything else the Democrats say, it's fucking stupid, ridiculous, unbelievable, and completely fucking out of context, and it's wrong. It's just, they're wrong. They're wrong. In my opinion, January 6th was not worse than 9/11 or Pearl Harbor. And in fact, January 6th was a joke. We should all just be laughing at that day, making jokes and memes about it, because it was a stupid day, a joke of a day, and tragedy fell. Yes, that woman died, shot in the face. And that's not funny. That shouldn't be joked about. But the fact that she was even there for that event shouldn't have been. And that is the part that's the joke. They want us to believe that that was an insurrection, a day of insurrection. No, that was just them fucking with us some more. So if you hear this, January 6th was worse than 9/11 and Pearl Harbor, and you hear governors and mayors talking about it on TV or radio or whatever, and you hear them, it's unbelievable. I can't believe that people are, those are the ones that you have to basically blacklist from your life. Those are the pieces of shit that keep this going the way it's going. You don't believe me? Am I wrong? Oh yeah, if that's the case, then why is our country doing so great right now? Smile big, because we're doing so great, right? Our country. If I'm wrong, then why is the country in the shape that it's in? Is it because the Dems are doing so wonderful, so great? The Republicans, are they doing a great job? We're not in the state that we're in because we're doing good. We're not doing good. And anyone that tells you that we are is obviously part of the problem, not the solution. Be careful when you hear these things. January 6th, worse than September 11th, worse than Pearl Harbor, worse than Vietnam. What the fuck are these goddamn... I was going to use a word that might actually get this video not posted or, blocked by YouTube. But what are these wackos, these fucking people, what are they talking about? Were they dropped on their heads as babies or something? That's what it seems like. Anyway, have a good day. This has been Warchild Warrior. And I'll try to make it not so long till the next video. Have a good one out there. Stay safe, stay free, and stay away from the bullshit.